By the way, it's like different topic, but I thought this was funny. So look at Hidari's arm here, really quick. So you got this image in your
Yeah.
mind. Just
Looks like Gaara's stand too.
just burn it into your
Stand arm.
brain. This just is your eyes, okay? Photo memory or whatever. That's what Hidari's arm looks like.
You guys show me Kawaki's now?
Yes. It is like identical.
Yeah, we've been over this. I know.
But it's not wood style. It's
I
scientific
still
ninja tech.
update.
Makes his blood expand
That's
or
the
whatever.
thing that's weird. So, my original theory, which has kind of been, it's not necessarily disproven. I think it just be adjusted. But originally, what I was gonna say is, well, looking at Boro and Kawaki, the two prime candidates for this, it's like I think I originally thought that they got 10-tail cells, whereas Code, Ada didn't have Shibai cells. So they got 10-tail cells. That would explain why Kawaki can do this thing that looks just like Hidari's arm. But obviously we know that Boro got Shibai cells. So then the question is either Boro got Shibai cells, it did nothing, and so he also got 10-tail cells, or getting Shibai cells fundamentally does basically the same thing. Especially if Shibai, like that one translation that says he's a tree, especially if he just is a tree now, and so he just got wood cells, and so it's just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
What are you looking for specifically? You looking for the inorganic technology thing?
We could do that after. I was looking at the
24.
Gaara fight when he first does it. Probably gonna like 26.
I will obviously in the 24.
24.
Well, actually 25 I think is the fight. 24 might be mostly just flashback.
Resonance, okay.
But
24.
Oh, your thing's messed up. Okay. I don't know which way it's messed up though.
Yeah. Understandably. Okay. This chapter looks so good, bro.
Yeah. You need to go
this
back.
Looks so good.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Here it looks different because of the blade, but he's barely using it here.
Yeah, and Hidari makes a sword out of his too, though.
That's fair. But
which is why I was comparing these originally.
Okay, no, this is gonna be messed up. Yeah. Oh no, it's fixed now. Okay, cool. Does he? Where does he have the wood style thing here? Does he use it outside of the instance where he like punches him in the gut? In the manga?
He might use it earlier, just go back up.
Okay.
Go to the beginning of the fight. I mean, if otherwise you could try like the Boro fight or something.
How about that?
Okay, yeah, there's that.
Pretty good. Yeah, you get the same thing here, beat the speed lines.
That looks like Coat's claws in that one, not gonna lie.
Yes, it does. Can we just say this is what Code has in this case?
Well, Code's is different though, because so Kawaki's,
I mean, I agree.
Well, actually, Kawaki's is inconsistent anyway, but a lot of the time, Kawaki's grows things over his arm, whereas Code transforms his arm itself.
I don't think this happens in the anime. It's just manga exclusive. I don't think Kawaki does this. This is a pretty big attack.
Well, where he slams it down and then detaches the arm. I think he might do something similar in the anime.
Well, if he does, it's definitely not as impressive as this, because this is a very long range attack. It's a very big area of effect as well.
Could be mixing up with the Mitsuki 2-second spar where he does this very similar thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Pretty cool. Also, the fact Kawaki can do this. He just has ranged projectiles that he can just launch. This is basically what I think Code does with his claw marks.
Yeah, but it's not visually depicted the same way.
I know, obviously.
You can just not do that.
Yeah. That's freaking crazy.
Let's just go back up there. Is he doing it again there? Oh, that's what we saw earlier.
But that's kind of weird, going from right to left. He has the sword here, clashing with Garo, and it's like, are these two battles like backwards, or what's happening here?
Just jumped over there out of nowhere. Like, what happened in between? I feel like we're missing a panel.
Weird. Why do you stop doing the sword? Weird. That's that. So yeah, there you go. Went through the fight backwards, but whatever works. So it's
that one kind of looks like tree branches with the more hands than a normal claw.
I think this is just the best indication of it. This as well, maybe, but I mean,
being wood-like.
Yeah, it's like not the exact same, but like it's practically the exact same.
Well, yeah, like it looks very similar. Is the point?
Yeah,
like there is a difference, obviously. I think they would have described it as being straight up wood, but I think it is doing a very, very, very similar thing because whether it's Shibai cells, Tento cells, or something else, I think Amado put in Kawaki some Otsutsuki or Ten Tails related thing that's giving him pretty much the same benefit.
Yeah. Okay, so what chapter does Katasuke explain it? Do you know?
Well, there's more than one you might be looking for.
The 5 Kage
you can
Summit.
do. So chapter 26 should be it. Next chapter.
Where's the previous chapter button? Right here.
There you go. Okay, so this is messed up. So try going one more chapter earlier.
Okay. I hate how they do this.
I hate how this website's just wrong.
I know. I think this is... Okay, yeah, this is gonna be it.
Okay, here we go.
So, Katasuke, did you
Yeah.
I stated before, extremely small scientific ninja weaponry. Weird how they say weaponry instead of tech here, but I guess that's fine. Have been detected throughout his entire body. It seems as though those things are causing unique changes on the cellular level. The flesh of his body undergoes rapid cellular division, which causes it to swell. Which, by the way, that should cause him to be like healing or whatever. That should be what his healing is instead of just passive. He should be able to do it actively through that. In which case, it's like Hashirama, to where he should just die an early death because of cellular division.
Yeah, I mean...
The telomeres are shrinking.
Yeah, but for some reason, it seems like they're just doing something, I don't know. But like...
Shibai nonsense.
Basically, it's similar to Victor, hand growing thing, to where him growing those hands is the same principle as his regeneration. It's just the cell division doing that.
So even in an instant, it's feasible for his tissues to undergo sclerosis as well as malacia, which is the hardening and softening of the tissues. For example, making a portion of his right arm into something like a huge spear in order to attack his opponent. We've confirmed that case. Does he say anything more? On the other hand, the relationship of this phenomenon to the scientific ninja weaponry remains unknown, as you can see on his left hand, and blah blah blah, karma. Okay. So I think this would be interesting. Technically, they could still go the Ten Tails route if this isn't wood style. If the Ten Tails is sclerosis tissue of an Otsutsuki. They just did this across their entire body and transformed into the Ten Tails that way or something.
Yeah, like, I mean, we don't know the, assuming this theory is true, which I still believe because of Kaguya, but assuming Ten Tails just are Otsutsuki that transform into the Ten Tails, whatever the process is that does it can definitely be involved with this.
It could just be the...
But even ignoring that aspect, it can just be like Ten Tails. I mean, because like the Ten Tails itself just has a similar looking appearance. I think it's as simple as just Ten Tails cells gives them these abilities, because that's basically what the Ten Tails does anyway. It can heal. It can make it. I mean, the main difference is specifically the wood aspect. Now, granted, they haven't described Hidari's thing as being wood, like Jura's literal tree wood is, but it looks like wood style.
I think it's wood, yeah. What's the problem? Plus, he is a divine tree, so it makes sense that it would be wood. I think this does obviously debunk the possibility of it being wood.
I guess you could argue, Well, then again, even the Tentacles are shooting out wood spikes. But ignoring that, you could argue that Kawaki has the Tentacles version of this, whereas Hidari has the Divine Tree version of this, which is just more wood because it's a tree. But then you have the Tentacle spikes, kind of puts a wrench in that.
I'm seeing it sort of like Attack on Titan, end of season 1, when Annie hardens her crystal form around herself. That's basically what the Tentacles would be for the Otsutsuki.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, but yeah. But I think this could work if they go that route, and that would make this feel strong. I feel like this is already debunked, though. It's sort of a problem because I don't like the way this was written in the first place. Even like outside of this theory now, from the very get-go, I hated how this was linked to scientific ninja tech instead of his karma. I think this should have been his Otsutsuki shenanigans afoot.
Well, I mean, obviously it's different from karma regardless. And it's too late there. The best thing really you can do is the quote unquote scientific ninja tech this whole time wasn't really what they thought it was. It wasn't Katasuke stuff. It was more like Hashirama Cell Orochimaru stuff.
Yeah.
Which is still
what they sort of
scientific
say.
and all that, but it's about cell transplantation is what it is. It's not
Yeah, because
nano machines.
this is their one saving grace. Katasuke says
the top right bubble there implies.
Top right bubble? Okay.
Well, I was gonna say the top right bubble kind of implies it is nano machines, but like.
Well, but this says it seems as though, which means this is just hypothesis theory, and he could just be wrong on everything he's saying here. Which means it could be karma, Tintel's shenanigans. But it's not gonna be.
I mean, it's not karma if you can rule that out. It just.
But it
Ishiki
should be because. Okay, if you want to say Delta's doing the same thing, fine. Boro should be able to do this. The fact he can't says something to me. I think that only Code and Kawaki should be able to do this because of karma. That just is cooler. It makes it feel stronger.
I'm fine with that if you just change Ishiki's abilities so that he can just do it too.
I mean, that's fine. Well, he can do it. That doesn't mean he would do it, though.
You can disagree with me. I am not a fan. I've never been a fan of the karma itself just having abilities independent of Ishiki. It's just stupid. Kawaki should be shrinking jutsu, not absorbing it. Boruto obviously should be absorbing because that's what Momoshiki could do in the first place. But I've never liked that, so I would just change it that Ishiki just has that ability.
No, that's fine. He can have it. I just don't think Ishiki would do it even if he had it.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's not really going to change the outcome of the fights. I mean, you could argue maybe he'd do better against Baron-Mo, but just rewrite it so that Baron-Mo could still outdoes it anyway. It doesn't matter. Like,
well, that's fine if you think he would use it. I just don't think he would use it. Because I think he had more abilities that he just didn't use anyways. But
regardless, the point is, like so you just write the story how you want in that regard. But I would just, if it's going to be because of karma, that Ishiki should out. That's just my stance. But regardless, I'm fine with it being ninja tech stuff because it's, you say, oh, why doesn't Boro have it? Well, I mean, everybody just got different things awakened. Like, yeah, Delta and Kawaki, one got it with their arm, one got it with their legs. They got basically the same thing. Code's is just different, honestly.
Well, Kawaki has it across his entire body. He should be able to do it throughout his entire body. I assume Delta is the same. They just only have done it through their arms and legs for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Like Delta should Kawaki should be able to do this out of his left eyelid if he wanted to. It's
yeah, I agree. It doesn't really make sense why it's only his arm. But anyway, and then Victor's got a similar thing that's a little bit different. Granted, that's anime only. And then Boro's case, he just seems to have gotten better regeneration, but he can't do the wood style looking arm growth blade things.
But even his octopus form, like that's your theory, is that it's kinda Tintel Z in the first place.
So yeah, when he got like his core destroyed.
Yeah, just go back to my idea that they all have a karma seal, but only Kawaki's the one that works. So that Kara means husk, it works.
Yeah, I feel like
The way to
There's,
powering them up.
5 different things they could have done. They picked none of them. I mean, honestly, just going with things as it is, I want them to return to the core thing. Like, that's too. You can't just drop that when Kawaki says every member of Kara has a core. And what's also weird is in the case of Boro, they were really hyping up like, yo, for regeneration on his level, he's gonna have a giant core. So it's just like okay, so but then they're like, oh, Kawaki's got the best ninja deck in the whole wide world. So does Kawaki have a gigantic core in his body, or does he have a small one and Boros is just better? Like, which is it?
You mentioned
Like, why is
Victor.
Boros'
I
core
think
so
Victor
huge?
is the way they should have gone about Boro, to where Victor was, you could say scientific ninja tech shenanigans, whatever. Victor literally was messing with a god tree that he made, and he was like healing with Hashirama cells and all that. I think that's the route they should have gone with that for his case, and then the same with Boro, since that's already a
For
established
like how they
thing.
can heal.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of the core or scientific ninja tech. See, my thing is, I'm fine with each of them being augmented with scientific ninja tech as like a passability. Like this could just be how Kawaki passively heals or whatever you want to say. I just think even it makes him stronger. Sure, if you want to give him a direct ability, have it not be something that I think should be a karma ability. Oh, give him better sight or something. Whatever you want. I mean, plus, like,
Yeah, I don't.
I feel like the scientific ninja tech, this doesn't even work for the story. Because it's like, as Kawaki uses it, is how, when Jigen first comes into the village, he's like, oh, Kawaki, how you've progressed your karma. This could have been like an indication of that. His progression of his sclerosis arm, or whatever it is.
I don't. I, the scientific ninja tech thing is just. I
Bad.
mean, it really is just a drop plot point. It's just, yeah, because it's like in the Kara arc, it was about scientific ninja tools, and then it just got rewritten to it's not scientific ninja tools at all. It's just Otsutsuki cells. It's really what it is. And so it's just like the ninja tech part is just like removed. It's just not really, it was never even there to begin with, but it was because, Delta's got all these robotic like things for the ninja tool theme. Boro's got air vents in his head. Like that's not from Shibai cells, okay? Shibai does not have air vents in his head for viruses. That's all Amado's scientific ninja did. So when
Exactly.
Naruto's like, "How did you create all these abilities?" Blah blah. He's like, "I didn't create any." No, you did. You created the virus. You're not gonna change my mind. Think that was straight up a ninja tool. It wasn't jutsu. It wasn't a shinjutsu. If it was, they could have absorbed it with karma. It was just ninja tech. Like you made that.
Yeah. That's completely fine. Like, if anything, and this is a little bit sticklery, I'll admit you're probably gonna disagree with this. I think that like it just makes more sense for him to be able to control it as a karma ability than scientific ninja tech, because like karma is like a part of him more so than scientific ninja tech, which is like an external augmentation. Like you can remove the scientific ninja tech, whereas I feel like it's almost like a ghost
Well, not
limb is
in
how he can
Kawaki's
manipulate
case.
the
They make it
karma.
seem like you can't. It's just like, I mean, Kawaki's ninja tech story doesn't make any sense anyway.
Because, like, what's he doing? Like, how is he working with a scientific ninja tech to make the arm in the way he wants? It should it should be like Boro's uncontrolled squid form, to where Kawaki just can't control what it looks like. He shouldn't be able to manipulate his arm into a sword. He just should make a blob arm anytime he tries. It's rapid cellular division. That's what the scientific ninja tech is doing. Why is it in the shape it is? Why can he control it?
Why can't he just activate it?
Like, this
Like,
isn't a mecha anime. He's not talking to his scientific ninja tech, make this form. He's just doing it. Like, it's a part of his own body.
yeah, it's weird. I mean, granted, you could say, oh, well, with Boro, so like the regen's just an automatic. It regens when he gets blown up. But the virus one, it's like, okay, well, how is he doing that? at least that one, it's like you could imagine him pressing a button. I know he doesn't, but it's like, see, what would have been cool? They do this with Boro when moving his core. If they had to make a hand sign to like do the thing, so like in the case of the virus, just have Boro, whatever hand sign does the virus. With Kawaki, if he wants to do his ninja attack, he has to make a hand sign. God forbid they use hand signs in Boruto, but like that would just make sense. So it's like, okay, how does he activate it? It's just, it's
I
weird.
feel like this is also weird that he just has such a mastery expertise of his scientific ninja tech after the contrast they did between the dog and Al, to where it's like helping the dog, but then it's helping Al, but then Al doesn't like it, but then he actually does like it, but then Al's a ninja. It feels like you're going all over the place with Kawaki, it feels like. You just shouldn't be able to do this. And to be fair, my point there was all over the place, but I think there's substance there somewhere. You just derive your own substance.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this one's definitely lower on my priority list of problems, but like I feel it. Like,
Yeah. You were saying something around the hand sign thing. What were you saying before the hand sign or after the hand sign that wasn't the hand sign? Do you remember? I had a comment on that, but I don't remember what it was.
oh, well, before it was describing Boros, it's like, well,
It was like in the
in
same
Boros'
sentence as the
case,
hand
it's
sign.
like the. Okay, I'll just try to say what I said before and after. Like, before, in Boros' case, like, the regen's just automatic. You blow up his arm, it just does it. You just not activating, it just happens. And then
Yeah.
with the virus, it's like, yeah, well, how does he do it? It's like I could imagine him pressing a button and it would make sense, but it's not what he does. He just does it. So I think it could have been cool, just like how he does the core moving ability with hand signs. If you were to activate a hand sign to activate the virus, that'd be a cool like way that it works. So in Kawaki's case, if he did a hand sign, he could use his ninja tech arm blade thingy majiggy. It's weird how they can just activate it without doing anything, given that it's not part of them. Because you take, I know it's more advanced, but like Kadasuke's ninja tech gauntlet, Boruto has to do a thing to make it work.
Yeah.
Like these things, like
Exactly.
granted, and then you get in the argument, okay, well, about Delta's eyes. What are the eyes? I don't. The eyes just work like eyes. Like, it's weird. There's no winning.
Yeah. And then another thing is that I'm pretty sure I forget where, but I'm pretty sure Amado says, because like they're asking, oh, how'd you make all this tech? How are you so much better than everyone? And Amado's excuse, and this could just be a lie, which that would be fine. But I'm pretty sure Amado says, oh, he's been studying the science of the whole world. And he's just been influenced by everyone, and that's how he knows everything he does. That's a freaking cat, bro.
You're
He's just an upgrade on everyone. He's not the
you're
jack of all
mixing up
trades
some things, I
combination.
will say.
Okay.
Early on, especially in the anime, I think they imply that, Kara's been stealing, especially in the outwork, like, hey, Kara's been stealing ninja tech from other places and then, to get advanced. And then you have like the anime Mitsuki arc where there's that Kara scientist is trying to learn the fabrication shit from, he's trying to improve it with Mitsuki, and he's a member of Kara, so that's really what he's doing in the end. He's also involved in the Hashirama stealth with Victor. But then when you get to the manga is when they ask you, hey, how are you able to make all these abilities? And he's like, oh, I don't develop them. I actually transplanted them from somewhere else, Shibuya Otsuki. And then it's like, okay, well, yeah, that applies to Aiden and Damon, but like, what about everyone else? Like, because like I said, half these abilities might be Shibai, but that fucking virus, man, that's not Shibai. He doesn't have air vents in his head.
My way of looking at it, and I'm just gonna do hyperbolicness just to get my point across. Amado looked at the Leaf Village and they invented a fork, and he stole the concept of a fork. And then he looked to the Sand Village and he saw a flute. And then he stole the concept of a flute. And bada bang, bada boom, you combine the fork and the flute together, and Amado just built a rocket ship. Something that's like astronomically more complex and better. It's like, no, he
That's the
can't do that. He can
thing.
make forks and
Like,
flutes now. He can't make rocket ships. Where do you get to that jump, that leap of technological advancement?
and the other thing that's weird is it's like, okay, you look at Ao, and you could say, okay, Kara made Ao stronger. You know, he's got some hidden stuff that Katasuki didn't know about. You know, that makes sense. Like they're improving, but then you look at Ao and you look at Delta, and it's like either Amado didn't modify Ao, or bro was not trying when he modified Ao. Like the night and day difference there.
I just don't
Save it,
understand.
Garo.
Exactly. Like, Kawaki shouldn't be powerful with the scientific ninja tech for any reason. Not any more than anyone else.
And that's where you have to get, okay, then this is where it gets inconsistency stuff, because that's like you could say, okay, maybe the outers are using this Amado ninja tech that he stole from other village, blah blah blah. But the inners have Shibai Cell power-ups. Some of them awaken a Shinjutsu, some of them just get things like regen or whatever. The problem though is, well, they clearly have regular ass ninja tech too, because you just fucking look at Delta and you look at Boro, and it's like clear as day that there's some normal metal parts going on there.
Yeah. I don't understand it, bro. Doesn't
But
make
then it's
sense.
like it's inconsistent though, because it's like, okay, so why doesn't Koji have this? I understand why Kodain and David do, because they're already too OP, but it's like, oh gosh, Koji, you didn't get this.
Like, if anything,
Or Victor.
it doesn't make sense that the scientific ninja tech is making his body do this. The scientific ninja tech itself should be doing this. I'm thinking of this similar to
Yeah.
Kimimaro. Kimimaro had two different abilities. Well, basically one. He basically just had amplified healing, and he used it for all of his bone stuff. Well, his bone stuff was also another thing, but you get my point. He could just rip
Yeah.
open his flesh and just take out his
And just
spine
heal it.
and then heal it. Yeah. But it's not like those are like two different things. I don't like, why is Kawaki's body I guess it's healing from the scientific ninja tech, but like I feel like his body shouldn't be able to transform. I feel like it just should be the scientific ninja tech. It's almost like the bones for Kimimaro.
Which, I mean, depending on the panel that Ikimoto drew, that is the case, because sometimes he just grows the thing around his arm and it's not his body.
Yeah, like that
Which, I
Garo
mean, you could
fight.
just say in this case,
It's like right
in
down
but
here.
sometimes it is just his hand straight up turning into the blade. Like he
Like
doesn't, I mean, this you want to
versus
say
Delta, yeah.
it's just wrapped around his hand so tightly that it doesn't look like it's wrapped around it, but sometimes it just looks like he straight up morphed his hand.
I mean, isn't this the case in the
Like when
Delta
Code
fight?
morphs
Because
into
he's
glass.
making his arm when Delta is about to blast Himawari, and it's his scientific ninja tech arm that gets blown up, and he can't heal it.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter if he can't
So
heal
it's
it if his
inconsistent.
arm is safely inside.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Or like, and then the converse one, like, you know, Sasuke chops his arm off. Well, he actually just chopped off the ninja tech because it wasn't his arm.
Yeah. Shouldn't he like
I mean,
bleed from
maybe you
that
could
if that's his
argue this would be
skin?
interesting. This would be interesting to analyze. Maybe on, let's just say, his left arm. I don't know which arm it is. But let's just say his left arm turns into the shape, whereas his right arm forms the thing around his arm. Maybe that's a thing.
Well, it's definitely not a
Why? I don't
thing,
know,
but
but
that'd be an interesting way if they did that. I like the
well, I mean,
idea.
we have to look at the panels to see if it's consistent or not.
I don't think
I
so.
don't know off the top of my head.
Because even like when Katasuke does like the blood thing, does he do that in the manga? Yeah, he does. He does that at the end of the Gara fight.
Yeah, the previous chapter.
It's like, it's not the scientific ninja tech expanding. It is, but it's the blood expanding. You could say the scientific ninja tech in the blood, but it's like the same thing. Like, it feels like
It
based on their
transforms
explanation that
into the
Kawaki's
like
body just
spike
is a
thing.
robot.
I think you skipped past it.
I did.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
I might have skipped past it again, but
Okay. All right. So
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah, just scroll down from here. Go back up.
Slowly.
Maybe it's anime only, but go back up.
I think it's down here. Hang on.
No, he's not gonna do it. He's already done
yeah.
it. If it's in the manga, he might just talk about it.
That's it.
I
Well,
think
he's
he just
saying it right
looks.
here. All his blood vessels in his
Well, he's just
nerve
looking at
systems
him.
have been modified. But what does that mean, modified?
How is he even telling us by looking at him?
But how do you modify the blood vessels in the nervous system? I feel like technology can't do that. It can like work around it to make them stronger or whatever, but it can't modify it itself. It's like he absorbed the scientific ninja tech. Like it's just one and
All
the
I'm saying
same.
is, Abado did not steal this from anyone.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he's saying it right here. It's completely different from that huge man from some time ago. And even don't know. Who's he talking about, that huge man from some time ago? The robots they fought earlier?
Garo. But
I guess. Okay.
scroll up for a second.
From some time ago makes me think it's not Garo, but I guess it is.
It is. It's Garo though. But anyway, scroll up again. A little bit more. The top right bubble of this. Yeah. So it's on par with the prosthetic hand of Naruto. No, obviously it's actually better. The point though is, I think Katasuke's prosthetic hand for Naruto just is modifying blood vessels and shit. Like, considering he thinks that his hand might be on a similar level, but it's the whole body in this case.
Yeah. But again, this sort of goes against the idea that Amada just took it from like all the scientists in the world, and to think that there are scientists who possess this sort of technology, unless they just went into like some arms race secretly, which goes against the lore they've established to where they should be sharing their technology across the world. That just shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going for, man. Like, why is Kara even trying to steal this shit from Katasuke, like, in the Momoshiki arc? Like, Amano's way... Like, Delta... Here's the thing. Delta's been created and way beyond this Katasuke's level long before the Momoshiki arc. What was he trying to get from Katasuke's ninja tech? I feel like that's just a detail they threw in at the time that doesn't actually make any sense with the later information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, if anything, the person that they kind of do this, that they do this with Victor in the anime, but the person he should have been trying to steal from should be Orochimaru.
It's like, this is sort of the route they're going with anyways. This is, if anything, evidence that Delta's a robot. So this genius, I wonder if he manufactured him out of nothing. Just like I was produced from cloning technology. Like, what do you
Well,
mean
then Katasuki. Well, first of all, cloning technology, but second,
well, then that's
Katasuki
not out of
goes
nothing.
on to say, no, it's different.
It's also not manufactured. But...
It's an over exaggeration figure of speech, like, not literally.
I mean, either way, this led nowhere. There was no point of including this, based on what we got.
Bro, it was just a tease Orochimaru to piss us off. That's what it was for. Ikimoto probably put that line in.
It's like, keep in mind, they're expanding on it down here even more. It's not just some random passing line. I'm the clone of a shinobi made by someone named Orochimaru. I'm a synthetic human being. Didn't you just say I'm an artificial human being? Don't just go around bluntly saying something so ridiculous. I suddenly have a headache. Blah, blah.
Oh, you know what's also funny? Here's
yeah.
another blatant difference between the manga and the anime. Bro, the Mitsuki Desertion arc happened like 100 episodes before this in the anime. They knew this shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this just doesn't make sense. He was a human being who was made into something different through inorganic technology. I feel like you can't do that. I feel like this is just a paradox in and of itself. Like, if
I don't know
anything,
if it's necessarily inorganic technology in the end. I feel like because hypothetically it's all 10 tails or Shibai cells or whatever.
then that would be organic.
The only way around it, which see, that's the thing. So you could argue it just is inorganic because it's an alien thing, but that's not what organic means. It's just the fact that they're alive would make it organic. It's the
Yeah.
things that support life are organic. So yeah, it's fine if you want to just say Otsutsuki are inorganic anyway for the sake of magic lore that makes no sense. But it's kind of don't use the organic thing because that's just raw.
Exactly.
Just
Like,
don't use
why
organic
are
as
we
the
using
word because
Boruto's
yeah,
universe version of inorganic? Just use the human word or inorganic if you're gonna mean inorganic.
exactly. Because it's like just don't use the word in general because I realistically, yes, if it is Shibai cells or whatever, that's not inorganic. It's just incorrect use of the term.
So you're gonna hate me.
Don't use the term if you don't know what it means.
You're gonna
Like,
hate me. So going off the premise that Amado made all of his
I
whole
want to see this healing shown by him healing his head. Like,
body
more.
is scientific ninja tag, so honestly it doesn't make sense because like we were saying earlier, if it's anime only then whatever, but like when Katasuke puts his blood in the vial then it like explodes because it expands. Kawaki's been cut before. His blood's been exposed to the air. Why doesn't he blow up like Boro did? It's like why he can't
Yeah.
control that.
Well, actually, I think he puts the blood in like a solution, like some ninja tech solution thing.
He
So that could be
might,
the
but I think he was
explanation.
saving it for later. Like the point was he was putting it in there so he could bring it back to his hideout or whatever. He's like, oh, guess that's not gonna work.
No, he put it in some liquid to see how it would react. I do remember that. So
But he
you
also
could just
wanted to
argue it's the
save it for
liquid he put
later.
in.
I remember. I'm pretty sure. We go look if you wanted to.
I think he was just doing in the anime. He just says like, "Oh, let me do a test,"
I'll go
which was
check.
to see how it would react to whatever he was doing.
Because I'm
Feel
pretty
free to
sure when he
check.
breaks, yeah, I'll go check. You can check too if you want, but and stream, I am gonna like have the visuals not on screen until I find it in particular, but same with the audio. But that's okay. You can enjoy looking at Jura for the next like 20 seconds as I find it. Okay. Like I know there's another gene like me out there. Scrolling through, scrolling through.
I mean, it should be episode 180 now.
Let me know if you find it. So is it gonna be in 190? Oh no, it is at the end of 189.
Maybe, but probably
Okay.
189. That's it. I figured.
Yeah, so I got it right here. Very slight audio, and we'll talk over it so that it doesn't get copyright. We'll do it like this. Okay. It's also a small screen, so hopefully this works. If there's a change in his blood, that courses through his body. Well, actually, let's go a little bit back so we can see exactly what they're saying. But I'm gonna do a little scientific experiment. Yeah, so I do remember. So Kamui is right on this. Just watch. And do a little scientific experiment. So we're gonna fast forward it. If there's a change in blood, the course through his body. Oh, much.
You're robotic for me.
Oh, well, that sucks. But oh well. This is the same as the manga, besides that one thing. I'll take him to the prison place, and Katasuke's there commenting on
I
it.
think they might be doing experiments with his actual body, but as far as the blood test thingy, that was just an experiment for the moment.
Mountain of vital intel for us. Well, rip. Can't leave him here. Fling back to the village, my dad. Okay, well, rip that idea, I guess. Just gonna go a little bit further back. Double check here. Oh, weird. Koji leaves before they test this. Like, Koji just, I guess, doesn't listen to them talk about bringing them back.
Well, yeah, he assumed they were gonna bring him back.
I know, but it's sort of weird. Why wouldn't he watch that? Wouldn't he be inquisitive to see what they're gonna say about it?
I guess he's probably just trying to get Delta to leave. Obviously.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. Another thing. This is completely unrelated, but what? He's using pliers to pick up a drop of blood? It's not like a drop of blood's even jutting out. This is like just a cut. This doesn't make sense. Like keep in mind, he's not just like dipping it. He's like clamping it. He puts it on there and he clamps it and he picks it up. That's not how that works.
That's funny.
What do you mean? Is this the scientific ninja tech? Like, is it not actually a part of his blood? Is it only within his bloodstream? What happened here?
Yeah, actually, did he like tweeze out the ninja tool?
Right? I don't understand. That being said, we don't hear what the solution is. It doesn't look like water because it's slightly yellow, but that might just be the beaker. I don't know. I mean, where's he pull the beaker out of? Why does the beaker have liquid in it in the first place?
It's just anime logic, where they just pull shit out
moving around. Yeah, it is. He doesn't even pull it out. He just has it in a random cut out of nowhere. Okay. Sure. Whatever. I don't remember why we're on this. Oh right, the comment section. Because again, that's my thing. If you disable, okay, so I had this written down as well. If you disable the ninja tech, why does that disable like Kawaki's consciousness? Like hypothetically, if Amado just made Denki's robot body thing from like the second tuning exams, Amado could disable his mecha suit, but Denki's still gonna be like awake in there.
So what I think I don't think the shutdown code is shutting down the ninja tech. What I think is actually the shutdown code turns on the new piece of ninja tech that puts you to sleep. So what I think it does is it turns on some ninja tech thing that he has that shuts down your brain. Is what I think it's doing.
Yeah.
So normally that shutdown tech is off. She's turning it on to shut you off.
Okay. I think this is where I mentioned it.
The main problem I would see is it so like with Delta. Well, let's use Kawaki because that's a specific person. Would Kawaki be asleep? Would he be like in a coma, or would he be like dead while he's shut down? Because if he's like dead, I don't understand how he lives when you turn him back on. But if he's like unconscious, okay, I can get it. That you like preserve him unconsciously in a coma or whatever.
I mean, I figured that could be a thing as well. Like maybe he just has a scientific ninja tech like next to his heart that releases serotonin when he says a code or something. I don't know. But like it deactivated Delta immediately. I mean, you could say anime logic, but it's like
Well, I think it like just shuts down your brain somehow. But the thing with Delta is it looks like Delta was like dead.
Well, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying there, but I never saw Delta as human anyways. I just saw Delta as a robot, so the way she fell over, it seemed like when a robot has no power, is how that looked like to me.
I agree. That's how it was depicted. I agree.
Okay, yeah. So here's what I say about this in particular. my point with the shutdown code is that it doesn't make sense to be deactivating Kawaki because he was never off to begin with. Rather, I believe the only way it can work, despite the nonsensical explanation the series gives, the illusion of a cohesive and convincing meaning of Amado saying a keyword must instead activate a specific scientific ninja tech that then does something, such as release a knockout drug. So we actually came to the same coincidental theory based on that.
Yeah. I said, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I did not look at your thing, but I said that.
Yeah. It's the same as like when I said the Kabuto is
Mizuki.
Mizuki thing or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
I promise I didn't look. No, I was looking afterwards, and it's funny. I said not only what you wrote word for word as if I was reading off your script, I read it with like the caps locks that you would put it as well, like punctuation and everything. I read it, like I couldn't have tried to do that more than what I did. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I was just like, bro, it wasn't just Kabuto. You were saying some of the other ones too.
I know. I listen. I warned you going into it. That was a likely scenario. Like, there's only so many routes you can take Mizuki. We already think similarly. I'm willing to bet there's a high probability I'm gonna say some of them, and I did. But it's just so funny that I said that and immediately transitioned into saying exactly on the very first one. I couldn't have scripted that better if I tried.
Well, I mean, on the bright side though, it just goes to show that I had good ideas.
Yeah. The great minds think alike.
I was thinking more about some of them. I was trying to decide how I want to do the video. I might just do a top 3 or 4. But Kakuzu's hilarious though, because I was like, honestly, you can just give Mizuki Kakuzu's backstory / inverse Sakumo, so that you can just say Mizuki was given X mission, he fails, gets ridiculed like Kakuzu. Just do the same thing. Or he can be like Sakumo to where he does the opposite. He chooses the mission over his comrades, and I guess the village just ridicules him anyway.
Okay. Kamui, you're gonna